his schemes, Dr. Hock had not been able to discredit me at the medical faculty lecture. I found out that he had been bribed by Fugger, the banker, into concealing his autopsy findings that guaiac did harm to patients, so that Fugger's monopoly in guaiac could flourish. In the meantime, I had gained a new and powerful friend in Professor Brunswick, Dr. Hock's colleague from Strasbourg University. Brunswick was, like me, for mercury in the treatment of syphilis. He overheard Hock and Fugger plotting in a Basel restaurant. He was outraged at Hock's corruptness. I was told later that Brunswick did everything in his power to confuse Fugger about Hock's integrity and intentions. Brunswick was not to know that this spelled the doom of Dr. Hock.
Yes, Jerome. I think the stags are prominent enough. The blockmaker has done well. Your father has left for the fair?
Yes.
He should take care, you know. Paracelsus has worked wonders, but there are still risks. That scar could break down, a clot could form.
Well, you know my father. It's all or nothing with him.
You say Herr Fugger has an appointment with you for 3. The clock has struck the hour already.
Yes, 3. I've got some proofs ready for him.
Do you think I might meet him?
Why not?
He has interests in the brewing and distilling industry.
Well, when he arrives, I could delay his proofs 5 minutes so you could speak with him. But I warn you, he's not a man gifted with patience. Ah, Herr Fugger. I'll have your proofs ready for you in just a few moments. Would you like to take a seat? Oh, have you met Professor Brunswick?
Brunswick? Hurry, young man.
Professor?
Oh, thank you. Here, on the title page, underneath my name, I think you had better put Professor at the University of Strasbourg.
You're at the University of Strasbourg.
Yes, Department of Medicine.
What brings you to Basel?
Oh, Froben is my publisher. I'm just checking proofs. Perhaps you know my work.
Oh, yes, The Art of Distillation. I have a copy of your first edition. Well thought of in our distilleries in Holland. They love the schnapps there, you know. I'm always interested in new methods of distilling. But this is a medical work. You distill medical herbs?
Oh, yes, extensively. Why, you are the distributors of guaiac, aren't you?
Well, yes, but...
Yes, marvelous stuff, especially when it's fumed.
Are you serious?
Yes, of course. My colleague, Dr. Hock, Wendelin Hock at Strasbourg University, experiments with it all the time. It's remarkable success, especially with syphilitics. No side effects. Syphilis lesions heal very nicely with guaiac. He's never been known to lose a patient using it.
No side effects. Never loses a patient. Syphilis heals nicely. Hock, you bastard.
Herr Fugger, your proofs, I think. They say that he has been buying up shares of guaiac cargoes. Hock, I mean, Wendelin Hock. Well, I think that will do for now. I must catch the evening boat back to Strasbourg. Good day.
Good day.
Good day, Herr Fugger.
Oh, yes, young man. Will you see to it that my printing is sent directly to Augsburg, the Fuggers of Augsburg?
For tomorrow's class, I will talk on the elder tree. Here, I have some notes. Operanist, put this down in your chart. The juice of elder strengthens the aura and makes it glow. When the heart or the kidney are failing, it will take water out of the body. When plague is carried in the water, root of elder will guard you. Scatter elder where there are fleas. There. Medicine is not merely a science. Medicine is an art. It is not just the making of pills or the prescribing of drugs. Medicine is concerned with the processes of life, like love and will and emotion. Now, a powerful will can cure where doubt will end in failure. The character of the doctor, in the end, will act more powerfully on the patient than the drug.
I knew the old Pope, sir. Him is called Leo the 10th. He was a thorough gent. He had style, sir, style. He got it from his father.
Really? And where did you get your experience?
You mean with poisons, sir? From the Medicis, sir. Worked in their apothecary. Bad lot, them Medici women, sir.
Yes, I'm sure. But where are your medicines? I don't see your medical box.
Oh, no, sir. The medicine's here already, sir. Your instructions to me was to take a consignment of finest triple distilled mercury to consignee 1 Ock. Dr. Ock, University of Strasbourg, Anatomy Department.
Yes, that's to be your means of introduction to the patient. But the other matter was far more important. I thought I made it quite clear. Belladonna, arsenic, hemlock, something like that. You said you were a specialist.
Oh, yes, sir, yes. But I'm going to use the mercury in a special way, sir.
Oh, I see. I see. Good, good. Well, now to business. It's half now. And it's half when you've done your work in Strasbourg and Basel.
Ah, thank you, sir, thank you. Well, I'll be getting along, sir. I'm picking up my other courier along the road. Wouldn't trust him in here, sir. Far too much for me to handle on my own, sir.
Remember, complete anonymity.
Oh, yes, sir. Don't worry, sir. All I'll say is the gent from Augsburg, sir.
I see you have the bottle of Sam Poussin.
Oh, the Sam Poussin, sir? Yes, don't you worry, sir.
Well, you better hurry along then.
Nursing my cousin George back to health had been a joy in itself. But it had come at a time when I was sorely pressed. My program of lectures and my daily medical rounds had to be maintained. There was also an alarming increase in the cases of syphilis. Many were in a sorry condition, having been treated with guaiac and left with dreadful damage to their vital organs. To make matters worse, scores of Ecolampagus's men had flooded into Basel. His casualties had escalated in his attempts to rescue the Anabaptists. My research and my studies were demanding too. I felt exhausted, and the Calk's disease attacked my bones once again.
Master, for 3 weeks now you have barely left this table, hardly touched your food, and not slept a single night through.
Let me be, Operinus. Take this script. Put it with the greater surgery. It will need correcting.
I will do that, but you're not well.
No, I'm not. It seems to me, in times like these, that man is out of phase with nature's laws. Eternal mists envelop. Storms, violent, out of season, burst upon this roof, and dislodging tiles regorge grime and black smoke from every furnace grate. Take me to my bed, Operinus. I am sick again with the Calx disease and crave sunlight and mineral springs. I pine once more for Pfaffer's sulphur baths. My bones grow brittle. My skull distorts. Rebellious muscles scream with cramp, quiver, impatient to contract without cause. See, my thumbs turn inwards to seek each other. And everywhere there burgeon unwanted nodes of calx. My good Operinus, bring me there that preparation of coral and oil of vitriol.
Let me call one of the Lutheran doctors.
No! What will he do? Besides, tell his wife, and through her every marketplace in Basel, that the city physician is unwell. There is no treatment for this condition. I have already looked into it many times. Even consulted my daemon, the voice of God himself.
And what said he?
My daemon bids me seek more light.
You mean spiritual light?
Yes, that of course. No, he means more than that. He would have me go into retreat, to seek out some secluded spa and there bathe myself in its waters, to expose myself naked to the sun, drinking the milk of mountain goats.
You mean a sort of sun worship? What devilry is that?
Oh, Operinus. Are you like everyone else, seeing devilry and witches in every new form of treatment? Until the clouds abate and the sun returns, I cannot repair me. That is why my travels often take me out of sight, losing me in the mountain vastnesses above the clouds, where my life and my limbs are restored to me by the sun. Or lead me into secluded valleys, down water courses, where earth's natural springs play. It is very strange. I have no cause to fret, yet I am tortured by I know not what. I would in virgin meditation dwell, behind the mountain ridges of my mind, but only summer lightning flickers there. And in the sacred inch between my brows, the luminescent screens of augury are cichlid o'er with the hot breath of pain. And infamous couriers crowd the courtyard of my senses, so that I cannot gauge whence voices come, from within or without.
Dr. Hock, 2 men with a delivery of mercury are here.
Ah. Show them into my office, Herr Münster. Right, set them down here. I was expecting you earlier in the week.
Beg pardon, sir. We are a bit late. The river's in flood. Battling all the way from Augsburg.
Has a letter come with this consignment?
No, sir, I haven't got any letter, but I've got something else.
What's that?
A present from the gentleman in Augsburg. A bottle of San Poussin. He said you knew it was from, sir.
Yes, San Poussin. But, you brought the mercury?
All the way from Dalmatia.
It ain't off very.
Let's open the case, I'll sample it. What else have you got there?
A flask, sir. From your friend in Augsburg, sir. It's a special glass made in Venice, sir. Wrapped in ermine, sir. It's for the mercury. I've been told I've got to show you how it works.
Go ahead, then.
Here, get on those bellows.
Yes. Yes. Excellent quality. Excellent. See?
Oh, yes, sir. That mercury has been distilled 3 times, sir.
I believe you.
Your own mercury's boiling now, Dr. Hock.
God, looks like melting lead.
Yes, molten lead.
Now, watch, sir. I'm going to pour your molten mercury into the flask. It's glass, but it don't crack.
Don't crack. Impossible. Pure glass, heated and doesn't crack. Remarkable.
And if you hold it against the light, you can see right through it. Right now, you go back to Augsburg and make your report. No complications. The mercury was delivered in the way that was promised. And the customer?
He was dead chuffed about it.
Right, now go on, I've got things to do.
Where you off to then?
Well, I'm going to Basel to visit the town physician, a Dr. von Hohenheim. Him they call Paracelsus. It's funny. They all look the same when they go. Death from apoplexy, I think the coroner calls it. Come on, then.
No. 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 Fallen tree. Robin's death or my own downfall?
You sleep, Doctor? Doctor? Apoplectic fit.
My fellow learners, I am tortured by the grievous loss of my beloved patron Froben. And lest, in my grief, I should omit a single fragment from this, my obituary, I will read it to you. He was the dearest friend I had in Basel. I had freed him from the heavy chains of mortal illness. In health and in strength he left me to go to the Frankfurt Fair. There, in an accident, he fell from an upper story where he was accustomed to sleep. I loved him as I love my own eyes. He was the parent and willing tutor of noble and scholarly men. He himself was wise and good, the diligent promoter of every kind of learning, a wall of strength to me that shut out the merciless foes of the new learning, and from whom now I am unprotected. And if I fail in my office, attribute it to the severe grief with which I am tortured, and can find no relief. Class dismissed.
You may think of me as a simple soldier, or even as a warlord, but I've had to learn the same lessons as you. Those who value riches above all else sit on the shaky limb of the great tree. Every little breeze of acquisitiveness, the driving of a hard bargain, the practice of usury, add their weight to the rotting branch. Most blessed is he who loves poverty, rids him of his fetters, unchains him from the burdens of property.
Yes. Become as poor as a beggar, and the Pope will quickly desert you. And the Emperor, too, will desert you. But what peace you will have, and how wise you will be deemed in the eyes of the Maker.
And the young man asked the master, "What should I do to follow you?" And the master said, "Sell your house and your land and all your belongings." But the young man walked away in sadness and did not follow him.
Some ask me why I do not travel in search of beautiful women, like the lover, like them. How much further would not the journey be if it were to seek out some perfection in art, or for the greater gift of wisdom? The Queen of Sheba came from lands far across the sea just to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Why did she so? Because wisdom is a gift of God. Thus too does the alchemist, do I, search for Theosophia, the wisdom of God, in many countries and throughout all time. This spiritual thirst, this quest for wisdom, shows in man as a fiery gold, as a nimbus about the heads of saints who find it, as a halo of intense light. Thus searches the wandering Jew without respite. Thus Odysseyed Jason in search of the golden fleece. Thus searched I.
What was the golden fleece?
It was alchemical gold. In ancient days, men panned for gold in the mountain streams and separated it from the sludge by pouring it onto fleeces. The alchemist has to trap spiritual gold, The gold of alchemy in himself, in his aura. And there it may, if the aura is pure enough, grow and change all that it touches. The aura is the golden fleece.
Do not knowledge and wisdom come from the same source?
Knowledge is a tree in fruit. But of what value is the fruit if it does not mature and falls off? It needs to ripen into wisdom.
And faith?
Ah. He who wants to believe must also know. First comes the knowledge, then the faith that the knowledge can lead to great works. Thus matures the fruit of wisdom. Knowledge is of the earth, but wisdom is of God.
Then, because man is an image of God who is all-wise, he has the potential to be wise and to colour all things about him with his wisdom. Then if God is the great philosopher, man, as his agent, can act as his philosopher's stone, an alchemist. To become the good alchemist, do we have to go to such extremes of endeavour and self-denial?
We must show, at least once in our lives, we can stand alone, without wealth or substance. And thus alone, without help from any source, we can make the effort to change, to undergo our own metamorphosis. Neither nature nor the soul will settle for less.
And what does it profiteth a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Master, the heavy luggage has arrived.
Good. It has taken its time. Why, I sent it the night before I left Salzburg. What? 18 months ago?
Yes, but it has been following us about. Colmar, Ingolstadt, Strasbourg, and it is heavy. And it's raining.
Yes, and the rest of it was left in Salzburg. My Muscovite clothes, charts, magnets, remedies, now all lost. Still, I suppose I was lucky to get away with my life. They executed anyone who smelt like a peasant. Thousands and thousands.
There's another matter. We are short-handed here now. I've taken on a handyman since you won't have women around the house.
No, I won't. You married the last serving girl we had, and now she's left you. You're on the prowl again. Bring the heavy trunk in here, Operinus. There's something I want from it right away. Put it down by the window, Operinus.
Good day, sir. I'm the new Andy man.
Oh, yes? Where do you hail from?
From Ingolstadt, sir.
Oh, Ingolstadt. I know it very well. I was there only last year.
Oh, yes, well, I've been away some years, sir. In Florence, Venice, and Dalmatia, sir.
When you were in Ingolstadt, did you visit Castle Neuburg?
Oh, yes, sir. When I was younger, I used to help out with the furnaces there, sir. I worked for the Duke's alchemist, sir. Short of money, the Duke of Bavaria, sir. Dreadful short. Always trying to make gold. I learnt a lot about alchemy there, sir. Especially about mercury, sir. Needs very careful handling, sir.
The trunk is unlocked.
What alchemy did you learn?
I learnt that you should never take anything from the lion but its rose-coloured blood.
What sort of hogwash is that? Begone.
Operinus, leave me with him. Go on.
And from the eagle, take only white gluten.
All right, I'm convinced. Why did you leave Castle Neuburg?
The wine, sir. I couldn't stand it.
Well, you mean the wine from the Duke of Bavaria's cellars? I found it very good. And always on tap.
Oh, no, sir. The wine was delicious. But I had to draw the wine for the whole of Master Chilean's staff each day. I couldn't resist it, sir.
I know exactly what you mean. Looking after the furnaces night and day must have been thirsty work. And those huge lunches. I think you will find much to do to help me in my alchemy kitchen.
Course, sir. Ain't it gorgeous?
Yes, it is. And while I'm out, I want you to fix it to that wall, facing east. You've asked about alchemy. In every great culture, there is a closed body of adepts, an elite few, who through the process of initiation have opened themselves to extensions of their consciousness, enabling them to break into higher kingdoms of nature and there to have profound mystical experiences and access to initiate knowledge.
Pray, give me some examples.
Well, yes. The use of the symbol pi in architecture was once initiate knowledge. It was used to good effect in ancient Egypt and, of course, in Greece. It enabled the theme of circular structures to be used widely and gave an impetus to mathematics. Here in Europe, Copernicus is making use of initiate knowledge in his understanding of the universe. But long before Greece, the ancients knew the earth revolves around the sun. In medicine, here also in Europe, I myself am having extraordinary results with secretions of the bruised poppy. You see, I think so highly of it that I carry it in the hilt of my sword. The secret of it was given to me by an adept in Constantinople. It will transform medicine.
Why the secrecy?
Sometimes man is not ready for the information. It leads to heresy trials and the Inquisition. Sometimes the initiate knowledge is misused. Take alchemy. The proposition is quite clear. One element may be changed into another. Now, we don't always know why or how. But there are those that seize on this basic proposition and spend their lives trying to make gold out of base metals. But I forecast in my prognostications, I forecast that in 4 centuries from now, or maybe 5, this alchemical knowledge will become a reality. Man will change elements from one into another. But even then there will be immense attendant dangers. He will be tapping the energy of the gods. Energies more powerful than the storms and gales of Neptune, far, far more profound than those of lightning and volcano. Hence, the need for secrecy in the early stages of any revelation.
Well, where are these adepts?
They are like an hermetic brotherhood, sealed off, hidden from the world. This Egyptian funereal mask is a crude likeness, alas, in clay, of one such initiate who ruled in Egypt more than 2,000 years ago. A young initiate pharaoh. See, he wears the royal asps on his brow. One of a group who believed that the source of all life, of nature, lies behind the disk of the sun.
How are these adepts linked together?
They are linked inwardly through the process of meditation. All reach inwards to a common source of energy and higher intelligence, which they like to think divine. In their lives, just like a Knight of St. John, they have to undertake self-disciplines. One of these disciplines is meditation. Meditation begins when we cleanse the screen of our mind of all the clutter of its thoughts. And in the clear space thus affected, a white light begins to play. It is malleable and will take up any image thrown upon it. Then, if the will is exercised powerfully, the image will grow in strength. Whatever you create there and then is a living thing, a nursling of immortality. You may send it forth into the world as your emissary, breathing your life into it, literally as God breathed his life into us at birth. It may act as your agent of healing, for you yourself are a good hospitaller. It may be the instrument of change in someone, like Luther, who is a reformer. It is the blueprint within the master builder, when his body is but the trowel. The essential function of a god is to create. You, all mankind, are gods in the making, though they know it not. They create their images in their children easily enough, and create many things in the material world about them, some of them not good. But only here and there do minds reach such levels that allow the muses, the angels of the Lord, to paint their images upon the screen of consciousness. Then, and only then, do we see the true artist at work. The poet framing his verses, the sculptor modeling his clay, the physician bringing back to health the sick patient. When they do these things, they are divinely infused. They are the true alchemists of change. They wrought into the fabric of the earth what will become truth, beauty, and goodness.
Theophrastus, where did you learn all this?
The evidence of it is everywhere. In nature, in the changes going on in Europe right now. There's a sort of rebirth of ideas which once were common in the marketplaces of Greece and Rome, but a rebirth also of those special truths of cosmic proportions which once graced the temples of the initiates and were given out only in oracle at Delphi and by the utterances of the Sibyl at Rome. Anyone who urges this planet towards truth, beauty, and goodness is eligible for initiation.
Then you have been initiated. Where?
In the land of the sun gods. In Egypt, I sailed up the Nile and met such a group of adepts beyond the Great Pyramid, and they initiated me into the ancient mysteries of Egypt. But unlike Pythagoras, when he submitted himself to initiation, I did not have to be circumcised. They already knew, like you, of the accident in my childhood that had done that for me. Each morning, I was taught in my meditation to address the great presence behind the disk of the spinning sun, where lies the source of all life and of alchemical gold, that which transmutes all forms into a greater likeness of himself. This gold, this spiritual gold, is pure fire, the inward superior counterpart of the fire we see in our grates. It is the transmuting force of nature. A few, a very few, reach out for it in meditation or in silent contemplation.
And you are one of these.
Sometimes we're able to reach, even commune with the great being behind the disk of the sun. His response is to shed his rays, his grace, upon the supplicant. Saints, bathed in the rays of his fire, are really in a state of grace. They may, in their humble ways, transfer something of the fire to others. They have the philosopher's stone, the power of transmuting. They are the true alchemists.
Are they always Christians?
Not at all. In the Orient, there are adepts who have never heard of Christianity, but who know of the fire. Indeed, many teach a whole science that prepares the supplicant for fire, and teach how the fire may be channeled. The Greek initiates knew of the being behind the disk of the sun, and they called him Apollo. See here, the artist Albert Dürer and an initiate who lives in Nuremberg has drawn the god Apollo. He holds up the disk of the sun behind which he stands. This is a good copy.
What is the rod that he carries?
It is the rod of initiation. He or his agents apply it to the head of the novitiate, and his fire passes down its length. Thereafter the initiate is changed for all time. It is the wand which Mercury, his messenger, carries, the fabled caduceus. You see, the sun god was the inspirer of all the fine arts and medicine. The Greeks deemed him to be the inventor of poetry, music, and eloquence. Aesculapius carries a replica of the same staff as the god of healing. The Greeks, whom we admire so much in this age, borrowed their gods from Egypt.
And of course you have visited Egypt.
Oh yes, I visited Alexandria and Cairo when I worked as a surgeon for the Venetians. I followed their trade route past Thebes, Luxor, and the Valley of the Kings to the First Cataract. The whole dynasty of kings who worshipped the being behind the sun's disk are buried there. I sat for many days at dawn, wherever I was, meditating on the banks of the Nile, watching the sun rise across the expanse of the river, and again, in the coolness of the evening, watching it set. I had never known such peace and the sweetness of just being. Still, to this day, in quietness, I can recreate on the screen of my mind the rising red gold disk of the sun and draw sustenance from it.
I watched you do the same at Rhodes. I wondered where you drew your strength from.
Indeed. And in the evening I place the warm glow of the setting sun in its proper place, between the eyebrows. And once more, I am sustained by it.
If then I be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. Theophrastus, let us do it now. Meditate together. Show me.
O thou, who givest sustenance to the universe, from whom all things proceed, to whom all things return, unveil to us the face of the true spiritual sun, hidden by a disk of golden light, that we may know the truth and do our whole duty as we journey to thy sacred feet.
Here, come on. You know that bloke? Yes. He works in my cousin's, Dr. Paracelsus' alchemy kitchen.
Oh, he does he? Lots of things like arsenic and mercury about.
Yes, everywhere.
As we are baking today, sir, I thought that I'd get on with distilling the mercury down my end, and then I can help you with the furnace later. It's a lengthy job you got there, sir. You haven't been out of the place since yesterday morning. Hands in the athanol day and night. It ain't healthy, sir.
Well, it is an important experiment, Jack. If I can put this remedy together, we won't have to rely on shipments from the Tartars and the Golden Horn.
Oh, talk about shipments, sir. Here's a shipment of Marsala that came into Basel yesterday. Thought I'd get a crate of it. Your credit's good, and there was quite a rush for it. This is thirsty work, sir. And now we've seen on the last of the Chianti, just as well. It ain't, I'll give you an appetite, that Chianti. Chianti comes from Florence, sir. And like all things Florentine, suspect. Highly suspect.
It is good. I always preferred Marsala when I was in the south of Italy. Keeps the Sicilians sane in the hot weather.
Oh, you want to watch it, sir? In English start, I lost all my hair through mercury, and most of me teeth too. Another drop, sir.
You lost some of your teeth? That sounds very interesting. I must make a note of that.
You do want another drop, sir?
Good evening, Theophrastus.